Well, it says I'm live now, so hold on just a second. Let me check. Okay. Let me see if you can hear me. Yes, you can hear me. Okay. I'm only jumping on real quick because what's going on in my stories right now and what's going on, in general. And I'm not aiming this at just Georgia Cam. This is to absolutely every advocacy group in this state. And to all the legislators that come with them. And definitely to the law firms that are attached to them. What we're not going to do is act like we give a fuck about Lauren out of nowhere. We're not going to stalk me. And we're damn sure not going to offer to put me in touch with legislators. I'm having a hard time digesting that part, the legislative part, because if I remember correctly, I already know how to get a hold of them. I'm a little mad. A little bit. So, hold on. It's also cold. You can see how messy my room is. Oh, or at least how messy my bed is. I had left the room today because, I don't know, I woke up late, didn't care. Don't care. Although I am freezing my ass off because, once again, Georgia weather is going to be Georgia weather. And I'm freezing. So there's that. Okay. I'm addressing this once and once only. I worked really fucking hard for absolutely everything that I was able to accomplish. I made a seat at the table for people. I gave years of my life helping people for free. Never once asking for accolades or any kind of recognition or any kind of monetary anything. Because it was never about that for me. It was always about giving parents free resources, because we all know that public schools don't do that. Since walking, literally, saying what I said and bailing in 23, there has been an active smear campaign. There has been an active effort to steal my intellectual property, which, let's say, it's not an effort, it actually did happen, and it's continuing to happen on a daily basis. Let's also bring up the fact that the people that are using my intellectual property are being paid to use it from an advocacy group who I at one time helped, but because I'm me, and because I'm not the chosen one, and because I do things the way I need to do them, which is really fucking effective, because I don't need to have a fucking law firm attached to me to have it done. Yeah. They chose the one that they got. I have spent so many years by myself Do you think I needed any of those motherfuckers to come into my life to help me with anything I've accomplished? No. So to sit there and say, well, we can put you in touch with legislators, fuck you. You put me in touch with legislators, and that name is Wes Cantrell. Do you remember that? You remember the school choice rodeo when Ralston was still alive and he said no and he slapped it down? You remember how quickly I saw somebody say he was all about helping kids with special needs, only for his very next tweet to be against transgender and against gay kids, and essentially calling them an abomination and something was wrong with them because they weren't straight? I remember it. In fact, I still have the text message of Wes Cantrell losing his shit in my text messages, asking me why I didn't come to him to say something instead of what I did, which is what I do best, tag and drag all over Twitter. So this narrative stops now. Okay? I gave everybody just a very, I gave you a lot of grace. And you all know who you are. I am actively in the middle of dealing with 2 federal investigations and systemic complaints also filed at the state level in a district that had me come deliver professional development. You know, literacy legislation, that thing that was stolen, yeah, that was mine. I'm the one that invited your friends. They were my +1. And they know it. And let's talk about all the events that I went to where they were my +1. At no time have I ever put that in y'all's face. At no time have I ever told people, other than a handful who already knew, any of that. I allowed individuals in this state to pretend as if they were my friends, steal my intellectual property, and then go on a smear campaign. And I allowed that to happen because I chose that over the drama. I chose to allow them to make their narrative and to allow the others to make their narratives about me. By doing so, I gave up years of hard work that none of you helped me with. Everything I've accomplished, I've done by myself. Everything I created for others, meaning platforms for others, I did that by myself. There was no parent platform. Ever. Nobody wanted to give parents a platform, but I did. I got that done. And yet I'm still considered rough around the edges or what have you. But I created that avenue. I created that platform. And now I'm watching as individuals who deadass filmed myself and my dear friend Ashley at the event where we created the parent platform. I'm watching her monetize off of the very thing that I created and gave her the ability to do. I also know that my work was handed to her by a, a nonprofit who I didn't give consent to use my intellectual property. In fact, we told them, you either get me or you get a link to me. Imagine my surprise when I found somebody on the roster to speak last year at the conference, and they were speaking on something that I had had a conversation with the head of that nonprofit about. And I actually remember what that individual said as we were having that conversation. And this was a personal conversation because at the time I was under the impression we were friends. I'm taking notes. Hold on, this is good stuff. Really? Do I need to let everybody know about the defamation lawsuit that I should file against that nonprofit? Because there are witnesses to that too. I'm not going to choose violence, but I'm not going to be quiet anymore. It's been very eye-opening to see how quick people are to assume that the narrative is true about me. Yet, they've never once asked me what the fuck happened and what I do. Never. So, in 2025, going into 2025, I actually made an effort because I had all this bad karma in 24. So I wanted to start 2025 without any of that bad karma. So I actually apologized to 2 women. One of those women is the founder of that nonprofit that had quite a few employees do some defamation and slander of my character and then give my intellectual property away. That's one of the women. And the other one was the little cheerleader for the state of Georgia who gets to go speak underneath the gold dome about the damage from reading recovery and why we need this. Like I said, I'm going to take it back a step further. So there was an individual who no longer lives in the state of Georgia. She actually went out of her way to cover up the fact that she was not leaving Georgia, that she was staying here, and all of their plans to move to Colorado were on ice. Except that the very day that her son graduated from high school, she picked up and moved her ass all the way out to Colorado on land that she'd been building on. She received an award that year from IDA. You know who nominated her? Me. I'm the one that nominated her. I've given everybody grace. I have bobbed and weaved and just done everything in my power to just keep you out of my fucking life. And I did it, like I said, because I didn't want the fucking drama. I didn't want the fucking drama that comes with y'all. That's all y'all are, is drama. You prey on parents who don't know any better. You're over here trying to infiltrate DeKalb County on the Beaufort Highway corridor. They ain't gonna talk to you. They don't trust y'all. That's a really weird flex, considering I'm the one that filed the federal complaint against the district for using Clear ID on every single parent and child in the district, which is literally sending the information to DHS, which is allowing ICE to come raid these families and at their home and at school. The event that took place at Sequoia Middle School, yeah, the event that took place with the journalist on at the No Kings rally back in June, Clear ID was already up and running. So instead of you guys doing what you should do, because you all have access to the SPLC, and instead of the SPLC doing what they should do, trust me, they know about it. I've had them copied in all of my federal complaints that have turned into investigations. They know. Do you see them doing anything to help anybody on the Beaufort Highway corridor right now with the information that I gave to the feds regarding how they are using the information from Clear? No, you don't. Do you see them using any of the information I provided them prior to the Clear ID federal complaint that I filed that's turned into an investigation? No, you don't. You know why? Because I'm the one that initiated it. I'm the one that did all the work. They want the credit. They want the clicks, likes, and shares. I don't give them that. I don't need them for that. I don't want them for that. All I have ever asked from the SPLC is to come in and take care of things. And all they have ever done is steal my intellectual property and then latch on to privileged women with more money than any of you know. The skeletons in their closet, they're skeletons that I know about. I have been very nice. I haven't dropped any of those receipts because I just find that tacky. I don't deserve this. Like I said, I've lost everything advocating for kids. Everything. I lost my job. You saw where I put the story up that it's been a year. I was fired while I was on FMLA. I was fired while I was on FMLA because I got the PTSD from DeKalb County. I was diagnosed with that back in 2020, as was my son. Remember? And so, as I was in Hall County fighting that redneck, Will Schofield, he triggered my PTSD. Now, mind you, I was begging the SPLC to come in and help because they are literally using kids as guinea pigs with their mental health, trauma-informed therapy that they're using. I had a law firm tossed at me for no fucking reason. Will Schofield just got in his fucking feelings and decided to toss the law firm at me. And that ignited my fucking PTSD again. I took FMLA because I couldn't function. My brain could not continue the course. And not one of you motherfuckers gave a shit. You all saw it on display. You saw my life get ruined. You watched as if it were some kind of reality television show that you couldn't get enough of. And don't act like I didn't see you watching it. Don't act like that, because I already know. I mean, I was highly aware. You know, I have come to peace with the fact that I don't matter to people in this state, in my own state. I don't matter. It doesn't matter what I've done in my own state to help kids. It doesn't matter what I've done in my own state to hold individuals accountable for fucking with kids. None of that matters. It never did. It never will. There are individuals who support absolutely everything I do, but they won't say it publicly. There are individuals I have had to completely sever ties with who I at one time trusted with everything. I cut ties with them because I realized they too were using me just like everybody else had used me. And that hurt. I know everyone wants to think I'm a bitch, but I have feelings and I have emotions, and to lose my job and my source of income because I had to take FMLA due to PTSD that was induced because of fighting for my child and every single child in DeKalb County, and nobody give a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck. DeKalb County is burning to the fucking ground right now, and nobody gives a fuck. Except me. Like always. I'm literally right now watching as people are reading my federal complaints. Meaning the legislators that I put in the email so they could see what was going on. They're reading that federal complaint that has been turned into an investigation. So, Georgia Can, I'm sorry. I know you say you don't do complaints and you don't do things like that, but you could put me in touch with legislators. I don't need it. And don't tell me you don't do complaints. We all know that. We know. But you handed it off to two individuals who have historically always taken my intellectual property and used it. In fact, that was a very well-known thing because they're like, Lauren, ooh, we need to make this into a template. Can I use this? I'm like, sure, go ahead. I've got a whole archived, like 3-year-long conversation to prove all of this if anybody wants to doubt this. So the very women who told me to sit down and shut up and don't talk unless I'm asked a question are now working for Georgia Can. They are being propped up as if they know how to do everything. And this entire time, nobody has said a fucking word about the fact that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I know, because I've had parents come to me and tell me how bad it is. And then the parents showed me the information that they were given. That's my fucking intellectual property. So back to what I was saying. I started 2025 apologizing to 2 women, thinking that I could get rid of the bad karma. I should have never fucking apologized to either of those women. In fact, I rescind it. They didn't deserve an apology. They didn't deserve anything that was sent their way that was like me trying to be a good human. They didn't deserve it. I can't even explain like the hell I've been through in the past year. Everything has been taken from me, and I've actually been over here like, it's fine. You know, I spent 10 years busting my ass and doing a really fucking good job. I spent 10 years helping a lot of kids and being able to go and speak on it publicly. It's fine. I'm okay that I don't get to do those things or that I don't get to talk about those things. It's fine. That's what I've been doing. But it's not fine. Because that was my work. Those stories that these women are telling don't belong to them. We all know it. We know it because they stalk our social media and they take our stories and they just take our children's name out of the stories and they place their children's name in the stories and rinse repeat over and fucking over again. The reason I shut pesky dyslexia parent down was to get the fuck away from everybody who has done horrid shit to me. So kindly fuck off and leave me alone. Unless you want to apologize for stealing my shit, amplifying the voices of idiots who are lying to parents and funneling them to fucking law firms, don't fucking talk to me, don't stalk me, don't do anything. Okay? The whole advocacy community, y'all can fuck off. And if I catch Georgia Can giving money to board reps who are running for two of the seats, maybe three, there's 3 seats that are actually up for grabs. If I catch you motherfuckers doing what you did in the APS board elections, where you're funneling money to very specific people, which, you know, is kind of a weird fucking flex. If I catch you doing that in DeKalb County, I swear to God, I will fucking drop every fucking 990 form from 50 Can and Georgia Can that shows who is fucking paying your bills. So stop. Stop.